right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. Time now for our next segment, and I'm here with two guests from Thriving Families Kenya. I have with me Faith Nashipai, who's the Executive Director.
Thank you for having me here.
Welcome to the show. And Obed Munge, who's the Associate Director. Karibu sana to you as well. Great to have you both here. Now, tomorrow is International Men's Day. And, I know we don't get to hear too much about it. There are always those people who are like, oh, women have all the days. Well, there's actually an International Men's Day as well. And they'll be telling us a bit about the theme for that day. But maybe we can begin with what usually, how long has this day been around for, actually? Because I don't think many of us are aware. And what are some of the key focus points for International Men's Day?
Lovely. International Men's Day has been marked since 1999.
Okay.
This started with a gentleman called Dr. Jerome Tulexing in Trinidad and Tobago, that is the Caribbean. And in the last 20 years, we have seen International Men's Day grow to about 88 countries internationally.
Okay.
Kenya started marking International Men's Day in 2018.
Okay.
And Thriving Families became the pioneer of marking the day in partnership with government around that time.
All right.
We have done quite a lot with government from there because we were able to start having dialogues on engaging men. Government again allowed us to become partners with them. And what International Men's Day does is that we celebrate the man. First, we celebrate the contributions that men make to the society from a family, community and social perspective. We also look at gender issues. We highlight gender issues of men. We highlight the importance of a good role model in the community from a man perspective.
Okay.
We also highlight matters to do with the health of men.
Okay.
So this year, we are talking about healthy minds and bodies.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So that's the theme for this year's International Men's Day.
Yes.
And Obed, coming to you, today we specifically want to focus on gender-based violence against men. And this is an actual issue, and a real one at that, here in the country. Maybe you can just give us a bit of a background or some context as far as gender-based violence against men is here in Kenya. Because obviously it's something I think a lot of people would speak about in very hushed tones. They're a very patriarchal society, so for someone saying that they've been abused or violated as a man, is a point of shame for many, and they just will not speak up.
Thank you. Men have been violated in the country and in the globe for many years. The sad thing is that we don't talk about it. Nobody want to walk out there and say, I've been battered by my wife.
Yeah.
I've been harassed. And if we were to look at the history of this man from the childhood, whereby the child has been sterilized, we value more girls. We value girls more than boys from that tender age. And as they grow, we realize that we have a big difference between the boy and the girl, from the role and the way they are handled and the way their things are addressed. And now if you were to look at the psychological torture, which is a form of violation, the boy is exposed to this from a very tender age.
Okay.
Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
So the boy feels rejected, stigmatized and discriminated.
Okay.
Nobody talks about it. And I think this is the reason as to why we get them more in prisons, more in crime, because they are trying to identify themselves or to get a way out of what is now holding them.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about what are some of the causes of gender-based violence against men?
From a family perspective, and I like looking at things from a family perspective because our constitution rightly puts the family as the basic unit of social order. So when we miss it out at the family level, we have all the challenges that we're seeing in our community today. Now, from a family perspective, there are so many things that happen against the man, and beginning from just the boy child. A father in a normal father would walk home, and when he gets home, he'll ask about Joyce or Belinda, and he wants to know, how was your day? How have you been? But when it comes to Peter or Tom, he does not. He's not bothered, or he asks, "Were you able to do the duties? Did you complete the assignments that I gave?" That is the kind of tone that the boy receives.
Okay.
So he grows knowing that his is to be harassed and to be coerced. Then come to the level of a man, and therefore the man learns not to have a voice. And even look at when the boys are beaten and there is bullying around them. A mother will tell the boy, men don't cry. Comfortably, she'll tell the boy, men don't cry. But she's not given him a solution of, do I go and beat? Do I fight back? Or what do I do? Or how do I negotiate my way through? So the boy learns how to coil and how to suppress the emotions.
Okay.
So when he comes to an empowered woman in the family life today, he's this person who believes that being a gentleman is not being vocal. Being a gentleman is keeping quiet and watching things slide under the carpet.
Okay.
So if per se this man wakes up and he's not able to raise up to his occasion in terms of roles in the family, and the wife is this empowered woman and she's doing everything, there's that feeling that he is losing out. One, because naturally he's created to lead, and our culture has taught us that men are the heads of the family. So when the woman is taking over, the man now has to go down. Going down to him means that he has to forgo so many things, and his ego being bruised every other time.
Okay.
Other times when he tries to speak up, it can be an issue. The other issue is drugs and substance, and I will tell men for sure there is a problem. If a man is used to just drinking and not taking care of his family, and the woman is getting hurt on the other side, the result of GBV comes out so easily and so clearly, because the woman is also pressed, and she's pushed to a certain level.
Okay.
She's stretched beyond limits.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think maybe this is a good point to actually also talk about the forms of gender-based violence that men go through. And the theme for this year, you've said, also has to do with mental well-being, because the gender-based violence is there's physical, but there's also mental and emotional. What proportion are we seeing, especially in a season like this one with COVID? Are we seeing, is it more of physical abuse against men, or are we talking about emotional, mental abuse, all of which of course are bad? But especially in this year of COVID, what are some of the trends that you've been seeing, Obed?
Both forms are common, and I will give an example of where I come from. When you talk of psychological torture, we now can go to data and look at how many cases of mental breakdowns are we having in the country today.
Yeah.
Then what is causing this? Because there is an underlying issue that nobody talks about it. And this is why men are turning now to other forms of relief as a way out of this kind of psychological torture. Then when you look at the physical, again, sometimes earlier in the year, we had a lot of murder, a lot of fight in the homes. There are a lot of issues that were being exposed. And this, to me, is the highest level of gender-based manifestation among the male.
Okay.
And nobody seems to want to understand what are the triggers. Why is this man going through this pain? Why is he trying to express in this manner?
Okay.
And I wish someone would be there to create a platform so that this man can speak out.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me a bit, in the few minutes that I have left here, this would actually be a good point for you to tell me a bit about your work as Thriving Families. So you deal with families in general, but you have a pillar that's very specific to men.
Yes.
And you're piloting something in Nyeri. Tell me about that.
So under Thriving Families, we have 3 key pillars. We have the pillar on family, where we engage families in very unique and interesting ways so that we can reach them psychosocially. Remember, Thriving Families is a psychosocial consultancy.
Okay.
Then the second pillar is purely on mental health services and psychosocial services. So we offer therapy, and where need arises, we link to psychiatrists. Then on the third pillar is what brings us to this day, and that is engaging men for gender equality, or men in gender equality. So we talk about men across all ages, and under men across all ages, we've done a research with the PCA Church early last year, and men told us that they don't have safe spaces to speak.
Okay.
So what we did as Thriving Families, we went back, we came up with a product, we call it Men Spaces. Men Spaces is what we are piloting in Nyeri.
Okay.
And what we do is that we go into the community and we work with the men within the community. We organize for forums within the community, and we are able to talk around several things.
Fantastic.
So we challenge, we try to challenge our knowledge of gender issues, our cultures, where they are not working for both genders, whether women or men.
Okay.
We also encourage men to be better fathers. So we talk about parenting and fatherhood. We also talk about mental health, because again, we are a mental health service provider.
Yeah.
We offer opportunities for men to just gel and talk about their issues in controlled and very safe environments.
All right.
That is what we do in Nyeri.
Okay.
2, we are piloting something that is so
Very
beautiful.
quickly, I have to take a break.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are piloting something very beautiful for the boy child.
Okay.
The boy child has been neglected. We keep talking about teenage pregnancies. So we have a product that we are calling Nitasimama Imara for the boy, and we are actually piloting it as we develop it. So very soon we are going to have it hit the market.
Fantastic. The great work that you guys are doing, very
you.
interesting, and it's encouraging to hear that there are these spaces being created to address, Obed's concerns as well. And so how can people reach you? And maybe if they're actually gentlemen who would want to reach out and speak to you guys or get involved in some of your programs, how can they find you?
Yes, our numbers are 0703 677 757. We are also on the internet, www.thrivingfamilies.co.ke.
Okay.
And once you get to our website, you're going to get all the details that you need about us.
Great,
Yes.
great. Thank you both so much for coming on
Thank
to
you.
this show
Thank
and
you.
shedding light on International Men's Day and just some of the challenges that there are from as both men, brothers to your friends, and as women, let's do our best to encourage our men and support them as well.
Tomorrow we have International Men's Day. We're
Yes.
going to be at YMCA, but with controlled numbers because of COVID.
Okay.
But we are going to be streaming live.
Okay.
So people can join us on Facebook pages.
Okay.
We're going to be streaming on Thriving Families Kenya. We're going to be streaming on International Men's Day Kenya.
Great.
We are also going to be streaming on YMCA Kenya and also on Chiromo Mental Health Hospital.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Please do make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. With that said, I need to go and take a break for the second hour. And coming up next, we are going to have our relationship discussion, as well as later on having a discussion on National Take a Hike Day. 111 444 111 is the SMS line. This is Full Circle with Joyce.